into the sea. A statement. A statement that they are trying to smear in the media as a so-called genocidal call, which it is not. And it just shows how much their psyche is messed up. The fact that the call for Palestinian freedom is equated to be understood as genocide against the Jews, which is absolutely horrendous and absolutely untrue. Meanwhile, we are the ones who are facing genocide. Meanwhile, there's an act of genocide against the Palestinian people. And so we stand here today in front of the Brooklyn Museum, knowing that this is not an arbitrary gathering point. We are calling out all those complicit in the genocide of the Palestinian people. This museum continues to work with corporate patrons that are facilitating the genocide, like the Bank of New York Mellon, which owns over 13 million in Elbit stock, which is Israel's top provider of weapons. Meanwhile, the workers of the museum continue to call on the employer, and this is in their own words. They have said, "We are writing in our capacity as workers at the Brooklyn Museum to unequivocally recognize Israel's ongoing actions in Gaza as a genocide of the Palestinian people. To stand with Palestinians as they resist violent colonial occupation and apartheid, and to call on our colleagues in the cultural field, as well as the Brooklyn Museum community, to join this movement." They continue to say, "We refuse to make this issue more complicated than it is. The unrelenting killing of Palestinians must stop with a ceasefire, and the occupation of Palestinian land must end." As museum workers, we know that the powerful role that institutions play in uplifting impactful cultural voices. We also recognize the dissonance between the way that cultural institutions amplify and historicize justice movements of the past, while often failing to engage with those in the present. American institutions' silence on this matter contributes to the erasure of this genocide from the historical record. And with this letter, we aim to correct that while making it clear that at this crucial moment, we will not become complicit by remaining silent. And that's exactly what we are doing today by flooding the streets of Brooklyn and shutting it down, letting the world know that New Yorkers, that people who are in Brooklyn stand against this genocide unequivocally, and we will not be silent. We will not allow this to be done in our name. Since October 13th, 95% of protests around the world pertaining to this issue have been pro-Palestinian protests. Less than 5% of protests around the world are supporting Israel right now. And that goes to show that we have the power of the people on our side. That despite Zionist donors funding institutions like this, despite the liars in CNN and the New York Times, despite the liars in the White House, despite the disgusting lip service from politicians that won't even call for a ceasefire. Bernie Sanders, so-called progressives, won't even call for a ceasefire. Despite the attempts from the House of Representatives to silence us and chill our speech by trying to make it seem like anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism and equating the two, despite these false lies being repeated every single day the strongest weapon he had, he would still use this to throw at them, because our struggle for liberation is justified as any indigenous struggle against colonization is justified. And especially during this time of year, we make it loud and clear that our struggle for Palestinian liberation predates October 7th, that our struggle for Palestinian liberation predates all of these accusations, predates the existence of a resistance group called Hamas. Israel conducted the Nakba 40 years before Hamas even existed. And that's exactly what's been going on since then. Since 1948, an ongoing Nakba. Ongoing expulsion and dispossession of Palestinian land. Ongoing abduction and imprisonment of Palestinian people. Ongoing torture and murder of Palestinian children, men, women alike. This is what's been going on since 1948. And it's important that when you come out here to stand against this genocide, to understand that this is a broader struggle against settler colonialism, against Zionism, because even if the bombs stop dropping on Gaza tomorrow, Palestinian people will continue to die, will continue to be oppressed, and will continue to suffer. As long as Zionism thrives, as long as the settler colonization of Palestinian land persists. And if you wish to learn more about this and honor Palestinians who have been killed, read the works of Rifat al-Arir, the Palestinian writer whose strongest weapon was an expo marker, and they still assassinated him on purpose, because that is how afraid they are of us knowing the truth, of us speaking out against it, of us destroying their lies and their narratives.
Yeah, I never knew that.
As we march today and shut down the streets, taking over the Brooklyn Bridge as we did a few weeks ago in support of Palestinian liberation, just like we shut down the Manhattan and Williamsburg Bridge. We ask you all to remain behind the banners, to support the organizers who have these orange bands on, like me over here, so we can try to keep everyone safe. We're gonna make a U-turn around back that way and start marching that way in a few minutes. And I want y'all to be loud and clear so all of Brooklyn can hear you, so Eric Adams stop lying in our name. So Chuck Schumer can stop lying on our name, and so even AOC can be shamed for her support of revolutionary day. All our political leaders have failed us. They stood on the side of genocide. They don't represent us, and we need you to be loud to make that clear. The blood of the Palestinian people is on their hands, and it's on our hands too when we pay taxes to this fascist government that continues to support this genocide. So the very least, the bare minimum thing that we can do, the bare minimum is at least come out and make it loud and clear that we don't support this genocide, that we call for an end to the bombing of Gaza. We call for a ceasefire, and we also call for a cease to the siege, the occupation, the blockade, and the colonization of all Palestinian land from the river to the sea. And we reject the idea that chants like globalize the Intifada and from the river to the sea mean anything anti-Semitic. They don't. We know our Jewish brothers and sisters are surrounding us in this crowd right now, are part of this protest. That for as long as Zionism has existed, there have always been Jewish anti-Zionists resisting it as well.